This started. Wow, I'm really loud. Well, welcome to today is July's Nuisance Abatement Board meeting. I guess, Detective, you want to start us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Yes, let's go. I guess go ahead and do the
All right.
roll call.
Mr. Lindsay,
Present.
Mr. Faniff,
Present.
Mr. Slotnick,
Present.
Mr. Pimper, absent, and Chair Foreman.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, I guess the first item here is, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
I will make a motion to approve the April minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Seconded that? I didn't see.
It's Robert.
Robert.
Opposed, say nay. Hearing none. April 14th minutes are approved. And we'll move on to, do we have anybody to swear in before we get going?
I don't think so. I'll ask the question on behalf of them. So
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, perfect. All right. Okay, so let's move to the first case of the evening, which is case number 210802, 2935 North Federal Highway, America's Best. Detective, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you. Mr. Sean Patel is here tonight, obviously the owner whom we've all met. I reviewed the cases since the calls for service, I should say, since the prior meeting. I was pleased to note that since the prior meeting, there have been no reports that were initiated at the property that had any nuisance relation to them. However, there was about, Joyce, do you have who's doing the PowerPoint? Okay, thank you. However, there were 36 calls for service. I did go through the calls for service, and I'll kind of note a few of them if you don't mind. One of them was a suspicious incident, call for service, disturbance related, that turned into a traffic stop, that turned into a warrant arrest, but no relation to the property, any incident at the property. There was a domestic. However, the officers noted in their incident report that staff was completely cooperative. It was contained to just the room, and again, nothing to do with the actual hotel. There was 3 or 4 cases where management asked PD to come to the building to trespass some of their patrons for various reasons. So, I want to give credit to Mr. Patel for that, for, again, maintaining that law enforcement involvement to get people who shouldn't be at the hotel out of the hotel. And then just kind of a plethora of just minor non-report related incidents or calls for service. So even though there were 36, there was nothing nuisance related, and of those, nothing that I thought was notable. And if anything that the officers had documented or interactions were always positive on behalf of the hotel owner and management. Mr. Patel did ask or wanted to know when his jurisdiction ended, or just, I guess, inquire with the board as to when jurisdiction ended for this one. Okay, so if his jurisdiction ends in September, I may or may not be the detective who will be here for that hearing. However, he wanted to inquire, or I guess just let the board know that he was inquiring as to if jurisdiction would be continued or not. So, that answers your question. And that's all I've got for.
Yeah, I think to answer that question, I think we'll just see. It seems like everything's moving in the right direction. So, we'll see in September, but we kind of leave it up to detectives. They give us the advice on that typically, but so far it looks good. Was there any comments on that case or any questions?
The place looks great. I drove through there about a couple weeks ago, and big change. Oh, okay. But it looks great, and we appreciate everything that you've done caring for your place. So thank you for your efforts.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does look good. I drive past it every once in a while and see it, so it's looking a lot better. So, okay, let's move on to the next case of the evening, which is case number 220401, 301 Southwest 2nd Street, DBA 00 Chateau.
So on this case and reviewing the calls for service, we noted that there was actually 4 calls for service, but that was in the 90-day time frame. There was actually only 2 calls for service since our prior meeting. One of those calls was ended that somebody wanted to report in the general area that their bag was stolen. PD never made contact with them. And the other call was a no information trespass related call. Again, no information on that. PD never made contact with anybody. So I had spoken with the patrol officers who work that shift in district that property encompasses. Based on my current assignment, that 99.9% of the time the business is open is outside of my normal working hours. They said that it's been very low volume, obviously no calls for service, no issues. We're in constant communication with Mr. Magid, who's here tonight. So I have no concerns whatsoever. Again, the objective, I guess, is met. 0 calls for service, really. So no other comments on that property.
Any comments or questions there? I think that's great. That's really awesome. And I know you, none of this was nuisance. This is great. Thank you so much. Appreciate everything moving forward here. Okay. All right. I guess we'll move to the last item on the agenda, which is board discussion. Anything for the board or comments? Hearing none. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Hearing none. That adjourns tonight's nuisance abatement board meeting. We'll look forward to seeing you guys in 2 months. Next month is, that's right, Joyce? Am I saying that right? Yeah, we're not having a meeting next month. So we'll be meeting in September.
Great.
Thank you all.